let our friends join as we move on. Am I audible? If I'm audible, you can give me a thumbs up and we can move on. Okay. Let our friends join as we start with the class. This is part 2 on Forest Guard exam. We have done part 1, so to say, we have covered some topics here. Do I think we have covered till this one, I guess. So today I'll be covering these topics. Today I'll be covering, where is it? Yeah, nth term and the sum of the first n term and their applications for daily life problem. And next is concept on coordinate geometry. That's one thing I'll do. And quadratic polynomial I've done. And I'll be doing distance between points and section formula as well. And a little bit of triangle. So which means I don't think I'll be able to finish tonight, but let's leave this one for another session. These topics and some reasoning. I think reasoning, there is few topics I need to discuss. I think this one is important. Systematic analogies. Most probably they will ask you number analogy kind of question. So they will give a set of numbers and you are asked to find which one is the odd one or something like that only. So we'll discuss that if we get time. But most probably what we need one more session to finish this. A basic mensuration, mean, median, mode, and probability. So even though you're not appearing for forest card also, it will be important because last year in NPSC, questions were asked from this too, median and mode, and it was not a basic level question. It was a bit lengthy question. So I'll be covering that. So tonight I'll start with nth term or uh, sum of the n term. So what is n term? First thing you need to understand is you need to know what is AP. AP, we call it arithmetic progression. So we say that a term is an AP if it is following a certain pattern. Certain patterns, so for example, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. So if you look at this pattern, we see that every term there's a plus of 2. Every term there's a plus of 2. Every term there's a plus of 2. That means in this case, we say that this kind of term, we call it AP. Then what are the terms which are not AP? It may be a random number. It may be 2, 3, 7, 4, 8, or to be precise, let's take a set of standard numbers. Let's take 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11, and so on. If we take a set of odd number, then if you look here, what's the difference here? Plus of how much? Plus of 1 here. What about here? There's a plus of 2 here. What about here? There's a plus of 2 here. What about here? There's a plus of 3 here. So if you look at the difference here, earlier, we see that there's a plus of 2 here. That means there's a pattern following. There's a plus of plus 2 in every term. But if you look here, there's plus 1 here, plus 2 here, plus 2 here, plus 3 here. That means every term there's a different pattern following. So what we will do is we say this kind of terms. That means if a series or yeah, if a series is following a certain pattern, we call it arithmetic progression. So one thing we need to do is that most of the time you will be given this kind of sets. You may be given 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. So if you look here, every term there's a plus of 5 here. There's a plus of 5. 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 So if a certain pattern is following, that means uh, then in that case we call it arithmetic progression. Okay, so if we have an arithmetic progression, then we need to understand few things here. We call it A, which is called the first term, and D we call it common difference. So what is the first term? So if you have a set of numbers, let's take this series. Okay, if I let's say if I have this arithmetic progression, then A is nothing but the first term. It says the first term. So what is the first term here? The first term is this one. So which is 5. A is nothing but the first term, which is this one. What about D? D is a common difference. How do we find common difference? Common difference simply means you can take any of the term, okay? But better take the smaller terms. I'll take the second term. That means second term minus first term will give you the common difference. So which means I'll get here 5. So common difference here is 5 and the first term is a. That is a certain basic here. Now that we know what is a means the first term and d means the common difference. So let's write a formula here which is important. A n formula, which is a plus n minus 1 into d. We call it a n term formula. So n term simply means let's take a quotient. That means that will be better here. So 7, 13, 19, and let's say go until 205. Let's say you are asked to find this 205 is which term, or see, if we keep on numbering, this is what first term, this is second term, third term, and so on. We don't know which term is this. Let's say you're asked to find this term. So if in question, if you're asked to find the term, then in that case we use this formula, an formula. When do we use an formula? An formula is used when the number of term is asked. So in order to apply this formula, what do we need? We need few things here. Number one thing is a we need. If I'm to apply this formula, I need a, I need n, I need d. So what is a? A means the first term. The first term here is how much? 7. And what is d? The common difference. Common difference, I told you earlier that common difference is nothing but the second term, which is 1 3 minus the first term, which is 7. So how much will it be? So 13 minus 7 is 3 3 6. So common difference here is 6. But do we know the value of n? We don't know. Why? Because see, we are asked to find n here. N represents which term we are talking about. Okay, n represents, we are n doesn't mean it's a last term. We n term means which term is this 205. That's what is asked. So let's find the n term. But one thing is given, a n is given. We don't know which term it is, but it is given as 205. So we are asked to find which term will give me 205. Which term will give me 205? So what do we have? We have a form. We have by the formula. What is a in formula? A in formula is a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to how much? 205. So in place of a n, what I'm doing is I'm writing the formula here, and we know a n formula is this one. So what we have a value. A value is how much? A value is 7. A value is 7 plus uh, what is b value? What is b value here? Oh, what's b? D value. What is d value here? D value here is 6 equal to 205. Now, if you simplify this, 7 plus what is it? 6 into n is 6n minus 6 into 1 is 6. Whenever you are removing bracket, you multiply each term, okay? So that's what I've done, equal to 205. Now, I need to find the value of n. So what I'll do is I'll just write 7 minus 6 is how much? 1, right? I'll just write 1 here plus 6n is equal to 205. So if 1 transfer to the other side, it will be 205 minus 1, which is 204, and 6, and we need to find the value of n. N is nothing but 604. 204, okay. 204 divided by 6. Why divided by 6? I told you in previous class that if a number is with a variable, then what will happen is that that number will go in the denominator. So let's simplify by this. 6 3s are 18, that means 24. 6 4s are 24, that means n is nothing but 34. So which simply means this 205 is nothing but 34th term. 34th term is nothing but 205. Okay, are you following that? That's number one. Now let's take a practical question, because in exam I expect this kind of question in exam. How many two-digit numbers are divisible by 7? So this kind of questions can be asked based on SN, okay? Now the typical question that I've given you this one. I don't think there's a low chance that they will ask this kind of question. But this question, the question that we're gonna do now, it's a high chance that they will ask this kind of question. How many two-digit number is divisible by 7? So two-digit number starts by 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on. And it ends by how much? Two-digit number. The greatest two-digit number is nothing but 99, because next is 100. So 100 is a three-digit number. So what we need to find is, we need to find a number that the smallest number. We need to find a number that we need to find how many numbers are divisible by 7. But remember, it is divisible by 7. So let's find a number which is smallest number divisible by 7, which will be two-digit number divisible by 7 will be nothing but 14. It will start from 14. So which means my AP will be now, it will start from 14, because 10 is not divisible by 7, 11 is also not divisible by 7, 12 is also not divisible by 7, and 13 is also not divisible by 7. So which means my AP starts only from 14. Why? Because it should be divisible by 7. So next will be 21, and so on. We don't know how many terms. But let's check for the last term here. We don't know what's the greatest number that is greatest two-digit number that is divisible by 7. In this case, what we do is, there are many ways you can do. You can multiply and check, or you can just divide this one, 99 by 7. 7 ones are 7. That means, what is it? 2, 9. 7 nearby 20, 29 is 7. 4s are 28. So how much is it? 7 4s are. So what I'll do is I'll check for 14. So 7 fours are 28. 2 in hand, 7 1 are 7, 8, 9, 98 here. So you just divide and check, and you'll get some remainder definitely. But you will have to take this one and check. So 7 into 14 I'm checking, and I'm getting it as 98. So which means the greatest two-digit number that is divisible by 7 is nothing but 98. So this is our AP here. This is our AP here. Let's try to find A here. A means the first term. First term here is how much? 14. Common difference T. I don't need to check because it's a multiple of 7. So which means every term there will be a plus of 7. So I'll just directly write 7 here. And what do we have? We have a formula. AN is given as how much? 98. And AN formula was A plus n minus 1 into t equal to 98. In place of an, I'm writing the formula of an, which is a plus n minus 1 into d here. So what is a here? A is 14 plus, what is d here? D is 7 equal to, what is it? 98. So 14 plus, how much is it? N minus 7n minus 7. I'm just removing bracket. 7 into 1, 7 into n equal to 98. 14 minus 7 is 7 plus 7 n is equal to 98. So now what I can do is, I can take common and I can simplify, but let me just make it more simpler because everyone is not the same. So I'll just transfer this 7 to the other side, which is 98 minus 7, which will give me 91. And if I transfer this 7 to the other side, it will go in denominator. 7 into how much? 7 ones are 7. That means how much left? 2 left. 7 threes are 21. So n is equal to 13. So which means there are 13 numbers which are divisible by 7. That means there are 13 two-digit number that is divisible by 7. That's the answer there. Are we clear with this? If you're clear, you can give a thumbs up. Clear? Let's try one more. How many multiples of 4 lies between 10 to 250? So here the range is given as 10 and so on till 250. So the first one is, so let's find the first number between these two. So I'll just write it 10, 11, 12. I'll just write. We know 10 is not divisible, 11 is not divisible, but 12 is divisible by 4, which means I'll start with 12. And next will be 16 and so on. But it will end by 250. So 250, I'll just take 250 here and I'll divide and check by 4. 4 6 are 24. So which means how much do we have? 10, 4 2s are, that means I'll take for 62. 62, 4 2s are 8, 4 6 are 24, which means the greatest number here is 248. So we are getting 248 in this case. So now the greatest number, or greatest multiple of 4 between this one and this one, the smallest one is 12 and the greatest one is 248. So same formula here. A means the first term is A is 12 here. D means the common difference. Common difference, if you don't know, the second term minus first term, it is nothing but 4. But directly we can say that it is 4 because it's a multiple of 4, which means every term there's a plus of 4. So an is given as how much? 248. So an formula was a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 248. So which means a is nothing but 12 plus, what is n here? We don't know. Minus 1. What is d here? D is 4 equal to 248. So now uh, I'll just reduce this one. 12 plus n minus 4n minus 4 is equal to 248. So 12, 12 minus 4 will give me 12 minus 4 will give me 8 plus 4n is equal to 248. So what do we have here? 4n is nothing but 248 minus 8, which will give me 2404. I'll just directly write 4 in the denominator. We have 4 in the along with the variable, or in the numerator. I can write it down here. 4 8s are 24. That means, oh, 4 6 are 24, right? Not 8. 4 6 are 24. 60. That means there are 60 numbers between 10 to 250 which is divisible by, or which are multiples of 4. Okay, that's the answer. mm, let's try an application based question. Okay, I think, yeah, application based question. Since the syllabus says uh, daily life problem, so these are the questions based, daily life problem based on this formula. Ram started work in 1995. That means Ram is starting to work at 1995. The annual salary of with an annual salary of how much? 5,000, and receives an increment of 200 each year. In which year the income reaches this one? So what is happening here is, I'll just write the pattern here. In 1995, Ram's salary was 5,000. But the question says each year there is an increment of 200. So in 1996, what will be the value here? In 1996, 5,000 plus 200 will be 5,200. In 1997 will be how much? Another plus 200, because every year there is an increment of 200. So which means 5,000 for 400 and so on. We need to find which year this 7 it will become 7,000. In which year the salary will become 7,000. Okay, this is an important question if you are to appear this exam. uh, Now same formula here. We need to find a is how much? A is 5. The first term we call it a is 5,000, and difference is common difference. I don't need to find because the question itself, it says each year there is an increase of 200, so which means 200. Now what is given? An is given. The last, we need to find the term for this. It is how much? 7 1 2 3. And an formula was a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 7 1 2 3. Now let's put the value. 5 1 2 3 plus n minus 1 into d is how much? 200, equal to 5 1, it's 7. Okay, 7 1 2 3, 7,000. So I'll transfer it to the other side. That means n into 2 is 200, and minus 200 equal to 7,000 minus 5,000. That means I'm transferring this one to the other side. It will give me 7,000 minus 5,000 is nothing but 2,000, and I'll transfer this minus 200 to the other side. It will be plus 200, and what do we have here? 200 n. So now 2,000 plus 200 will be 2,200, and n is equal to, if I transfer this 200 to the other side, it will go into the denominator. 0 0 0 0 cancel, 0 0 cancel, is 11. So this is 11 here. So remember, this one n is 11. So which means this one is the 11th term. That's what it means. So if this is 1995 plus how much will give you, this year will be which year? I'll give this one as a homework, okay? You find out. This is the first term and this is the 11th term. So in which year it will be 7,000? I'll leave that for you. Okay? You try that after class. So you find which year here. Mm, yeah, any doubts here in this question? Because I'll move on if you are clear with this. If you have doubts, you can ask, and if you don't have, we'll move on. What happened to tonight's class? Is it? Am I still audible? Maybe you are having a hard time to follow me, yeah, I guess. It's a bit advanced math, so it happens. Mm, okay, now let's find sum of terms, okay? That is, we are, till now we were talking about the nth term. Now let's find for sum of terms. We call it sum of nth terms. Sum of n terms means there is a formula for this one. I'll just give you a formula. As n formula is nothing but n divided by 2 twice of a plus n minus 1 into t is the first formula, or you can also use n divided by 2. I can use a plus a n or the last term, or shall I just use last term here? A plus l, a plus l. L means the last term, okay? This can also be written as n divided by 2 a plus an. Now, but remember this one. This is the most of the time I'll be using this. Until and unless the term is given, okay? Until and unless the term is given or the n term is given. This one is nothing but the last term. This one is nothing but the last term, okay? L is nothing but the last term. So if the last term is given, I'll be using this. But if not given, then I won't be using that. 21st positive integer. Okay, I'll start with this here. Same thing. I'll just rewrite the formula here. The formula here was n divided by 2 and twice of a plus n minus 1 d is the formula here. We know we are asked to find the question should be find the sum, okay? Find the sum, deal the 10th term, okay? This is the AB here, this is the AB here, this is the AB here, and we are asked to find the sum, deal the 10th term. Sum means this one. I'll just let's say earlier 1 2 3 4 5, or nearest example, let me just use 2 4 6 and 8. So let's say our AB is deal this one only. There's no total term, but let's say our AB is only deal this one. Sum of terms simply means 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8, this one, okay? So which means 6 plus 4 is 10 18 20. So sum simply means as n is nothing but 20 here. You just need to sum every term. Earlier we were finding which term it is, which term, but here in this case we need to find the sum of every term. So how many terms do we have? 1 2 3 4. So in this case, in place of Sn, what I'll use is S4, because there is 1 2 3 4 term. So there is 4 terms, so which means S4 is nothing but 20. That's what it means, okay? Sum of term means the sum of every term. We call it sum of terms. So same thing here. We are asked to find there is an AB which is 2 7 12 and so on, but we don't know it will go on. We are asked to find till the 10th term. 10th term. We don't know the 10th term here, but we are asked to find till the 10th term. So if we know this 10th term, the formula I can easily use the formula of the other one divided by 2 a plus an formula, because this will be the 10th term in this case, but we don't know the 10th term. So if you don't know the last term, we use the formula, this one, okay? We use this formula. So now let's start. A, we know it is a first term. A is nothing but the first term, which is 2. What is D? Common difference means the second term minus first term. Second term is how much? 7 minus 2, how much? Which is 5. So the common difference here is 5. You can cross check. 2 plus how much is 7? Plus 5. 7 plus how much is 12? Plus 5. So every term there will be a plus of 5. So which means I have it as 2 and D I have it as 5. That's one thing. And now what do we need to find? We need to find the sum of the term. But remember, n here is 10. Why? We are asked to find till the 10th term. So the n here is 10, so which means n is nothing but 10. So the formula for s, we need to find s10 here, because the n here is the 10th, till the 10th term. That means the last term here is 10, so which means n is nothing but 10. Okay, now I'll just put the value. N is 10 divided by 2, and what is it? 2 into, what is a here? A is 2. I'm just putting in this formula. Okay, plus n is 10 here, 10 minus 1, and what is d here? D is 5. So 2 5s are 10, that means 5, and 2 2s are 4, plus 10 minus 1 is how much? 10 minus 1 is 9 into 5. So now we have 5, 4 plus, 4 plus, oh, what is happening here? 4 plus 9 5s are 45. 45, so which means 4 plus 45 is 5 into 5, what is happening? 5 into 49. So 5 into 49 is how much? 9 5s are 45, 5, 49, 9 5s are 4, 9 4s are 20, and 24. We have our answer is 245. That means the sum of the 10th term is nothing but 245. That means if you keep on adding the term, each and every term here, till the 10th term, you will get it as 245. Are we clear with this? Okay, there are some standards formula. Okay, so I'll just give you some standard formula, and I think most of the time we'll be using, I'll just write it down here. Sum of sum of uh, natural number. Sum of natural number is, or sum of it should be n natural number. Okay, sum of n natural number is nothing but n into n plus 1 divided by 2. You will see this kind of question often. So if they are not going too deep, the top layer question can be asked from this standard questions. So it may be sum of first, how do you do it? First n odd number, yeah, odd number is nothing but n square, and another one is sum of first n even number is nothing but n into n plus 1. So this is also sum of first n natural number. Okay, so what is natural number? Natural number is simplest definition of natural number is all the counting numbers, we call it natural number. That means 1 2 3, we don't start counting from 0, so we start counting from 1. So all the counting numbers, we call it natural number. So if asked natural number, or sometimes they may ask this way also, positive integer. Integer means there is positive and negative integer. Okay, plus 1 is a positive integer, minus 1 is a negative integer. But when we talk about natural number means only counting numbers. Why only counting numbers? Because minus 1 is not a natural number. Why? Because we don't count minus 1 minus 2, we don't count like that. So simplest definition of natural number is all the counting numbers. And what is odd number? If you know even number means all the numbers which are ending by 2 4 6 8 and 0, or so to say multiples of 2. And even number means the remaining. So that's what we have. So this 3 is an important formula for sum of the terms here. So this question is based on this one, the sum of the first 100 positive integer. Actually you can use the formula that we have used also. Okay, positive integer is 1 2 3 and go on till 100. So if you are using the earlier formula, this is a is 1, d is how much? Common difference is 1 because every term there's a plus of 1. There's a plus of 1, there's a plus of 1. And the last term an is nothing but 100 and n is also nothing but 100. So you can use this formula as well. But if you can memorize the standard formula similar only, then that will be better. The sum of the first n natural number. So positive integer simply means we are talking about natural number. So the formula here is 100 into 100 because n here is 100. N here in this case n is nothing but 100 here. So 100 into 100 plus 1 divided by 2. 2 into how much? 2 into 50 is 100. So 50 into 100, 1. So which means 5 ones are 5, 0, 5 ones are 5, and 0, which is nothing but 505. This is also an important question. So who knows, they may ask you the sum of first n odd number also, or the sum of first n even number. So then you just use this formula. N, it will give you the sum of the first 50 even number, the sum of the first 70 odd number, like that, okay? So likewise, you use the formula. I'll just move on to next now. Uh, yeah, I'll leave this one for you. Same thing here. I'll just extract some data here. Since this is the series here, that means how deal which term do we need to sum to get this one. So a is given as 9 and common difference, which is 17 minus 9, the second term minus first term, 17 minus 9, so which will give me 17 minus 9 will be 7 and 2, which is 8, I guess. So d is nothing but 8. And here sum of the term is given as how much? Sn is given as how much? 636. So you try this one, okay? I'll leave that for you. So you put the value, the formula was n divided by 2 and so on, like that. So I'll just leave that for you, and let's try a real life problem. So since the syllabus is demanding this kind of question, let's try one. Do I have more? Yes. A contract on construction job specifies a penalty of delay of completion beyond a certain date follows 200 first day, 200 first day, 250 the second day, 300 the third day. Okay, that means there's a certain contract on construction going on, and it says there's a penalty of 200 for each day delay. That means if there's a delay, then the first day it will be 200, and the second day it will be 250, and the next day it will be another 50 increase 300, and so on. So which simply means each succeeding day being 50 more than the preceding day. So which means just by looking at this AB, I know A is nothing but 200, and what is it? D is nothing but 50, because every term there is an increase of 50. And we are asked to find if he delays for the work for 30 days. That means we are asked to find till the 30 term, okay? 30 days. That means N here is 30. So Sn formula was how much? Sn formula was, since we don't know the 30th day or the last day, we don't know this is 30th day, and we don't know the value of this. So if I know the value of this, I can use Sn is equal to that formula that I've given you, n divided by 2a plus an. But since I don't know this value, still I'll be using the first formula, n divided by 2 and twice of a plus n minus 1 d. So now, so n here is how much? N here is, we are talking about 30 terms, so which means n is 30 divided by 2. And what is it? Twice of a is how much? 200 plus n is how much? 30 minus 1. D is how much? D is 50. This is what we have. Now 2 into 15 is 30, so 15, and this is 400. 2 into 200 is 400 plus what is it? 30 minus 1, 29 into 50. So which means 15 If we check this one, how much will it be? 400, 400 plus 29 into 5. So 5 nines are 45, 5 4 in hand, 5 twos are 10, 11, 12, uh, 13, 14, 0. So if I sum this one, I'm getting this. So which means 15 into 400, 1450 plus 400 will be 1850. So if we multiply this one, which is 1850 into 1 5 or 1815 here. So 5 is 25, 5 2 in hand, 5 8s are 40, 5 ones are 5, 9, 185. So which means 5, 7, 16, 17, 7, 1, 2. So I'm getting 2, 7, 7, 5, and 0. If my calculation is not wrong, then the penalty will be 27,750 rupees. Okay, so that's the answer. Are we clear with this? Sounds boring, yeah. Uh, I'll leave this one for you, but I'll explain and I'll give it for you, okay? A sum of 700 is to be given, is used to give 7 cash prize to a student of a school for their overall academic performance. If each prize is 20 less than the preceding prize, oh, this is a bit different, yeah. I'll have to do it, okay. 20 less than the preceding prize. So here we don't have any AB, but one thing is given, the sum of the term Sn is given as 700. Sn is given as 700. But what is n here? We are talking about 7 cash price. That means S7 is given as 700. Because 7 cash price means we are talking about 7. And next is each price is 20 less than the preceding price. So I'll just write it down for understanding here. If the first price is x, the second price is x minus 20, and the next price is x minus 40, and the next price is x minus, what is it, 40, 60, and x minus, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 85, 6, and 7, 120, okay? So the price is distributed this way. But since we know this formula, S7 formula, we can find the value easily, or without using formula also we can get it, okay? If you don't know let's say for example in exam you forgot the formula. If you forgot the formula, then you just sum all this term plus this one 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 is giving me 700. So you plus the term here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So I have 7x plus or minus, because we all the terms are minus here. So 120 plus 100 is 220, 220 plus 80 is 300, 300 plus 60 is 360, 360 plus 440 is 400, and 400 plus 20 is 420. So minus 420, which is equal to 700. So now 7x is equal to 700, minus will become plus 420, and 7x divided by this 7 will go into the denominator. 7 plus this one, so 2 zeros, and what is it? 7 plus 4 is 11. So is it divisible? I think it should be. 7 ones are 7, so which means how much is left? 4. 42. 7 6 are 42. So which means x value is nothing but 160. So we are asked to find the first price. So first price means the greatest value is this one, because every term there's a reduce of minus 20. But if you are following this formula, remember A is how much? A is x here, and D is how much? Since it is reducing, D will be minus 2, okay? Or minus 20, okay? Because every term there is a reduce of 20. And the formula for, do I have a space here? Yes. I'll just rewrite it. I'll use it as x, because if you look at the first term is x here, and the common difference is nothing but, like I told you, each term there is a reduce of 20, so which means minus 20, and S7 is given as 700. So what's the formula for S7? S7's formula, the formula that we have learned, I'll just use the simple one, n divided by 2, and twice of A plus n minus 1 into D is equal to 700. So you put the value of n is 7 here, okay, because we are talking about the 7th term. So you put the value and get the answer. Maybe most probably you will get the answer as 160 here, okay. So I'll leave that for you. Next, yeah, so next I'll go to another topic. The next topic is this one, concept on coordinate geometry, okay. There are lots to discuss in this topic, but I'll just give you the top layer, okay, the top layer only. I don't think I can go so that much deep. So from our lower classes, so to say, we know x-axis means this one, horizontal, we call it x-axis, and the vertical one, we call it y-axis. So this is x-axis and this is y-axis. And the middle point, we call this point as origin, okay? This point, we call it origin. So this side will be, x value will be positive, this side. That means it will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So this side will be, that means origin, right side, it will be positive, and this side it will be negative. So -1, -2, -3. Likewise, that's for x value, okay. But for y value, from the origin, top side, top it will be positive, and downside it will be negative. Just remember that. And when we talk about coordinate, we there is a point here, x. If there's a point here 2 comma 5, then remember this, the first one we call it x and the second one we call it y, okay. So I'll tell you later when we talk about pointing or plotting a graph. So remember this one, x coordinate is also called it abscissa, and y coordinate we also call it as ordinate. In exam, who knows, they may ask this one, okay. It's an easy one, but many will go wrong here. X coordinate means abscissa, the other name for x coordinate, okay, and the other name for y coordinate is ordinate. So remember that. Now, now that this is the origin, this line x and y axis divides this, we call it Cartesian plane into four quadrants. So this one we call it first quadrant, second quadrant, third and fourth quadrant. That means the this x and y axis divides the Cartesian plane into four quadrants. Remember that. X and y axis, that means x and y axis divides the Cartesian plane into four quadrants. So this is quadrant number 1, this is quadrant number 2, this is 3 and 4. So, but you may be asked this way, uh, which of the following is from fourth quadrant? Say, which of the following is from fourth quadrant? Fourth quadrant. And you may be given some points. Let's say A is 2 comma 4 and B is -2 comma 4 and C can be uh, -2 comma -4 and D can be 2 comma -4. So if you look here, in first quadrant both will be plus. Why? Because we know this, the first one is x and the second one is y. So first one is x, so in this side x is positive. And what about this one? First quadrant means this one only, okay, this one. And this side is what? This side is y, and y is also positive because top is positive. Now in quadrant 2, let's check in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2 we know that this side it is minus. Why? Because x is negative here. Why minus here? Because x is negative here. That means the value of x will be negative always in this term, in uh, the second quadrant. Okay, excuse me once, my battery. Now so in second quadrant x will be negative but y will be positive. Why y is positive? Because it is above the origin, and y always it is positive this side. But in third quadrant, x is also negative because this side is to the left side of the origin it is negative, so which means the x value is negative, and below the origin y is negative, so which means negative here, so which means x is also negative, y is also negative in the third quadrant. And in fourth quadrant, if you look here, fourth quadrant means to the right side of the origin. So to the right side of the origin, x is positive, because we see here 1 2 3 4 and so on. So that means x is positive to the right side of the origin, and to the downside of the origin, y is what? The second term is y, right? So y is negative. So if you look at this question, which of the following is from the fourth quadrant? Then you look here. This is positive, positive. So which means this is not the answer. What about this one? This one is negative and positive. Negative and positive. So this lies in quadrant 2. So this is also not the answer. Negative and negative. That means this lies in quadrant 3. So this is also not the answer. But if you look here, positive and negative. That means x is positive and y is negative. So the answer here is this one. Okay. Are we clear with this? Because this is the basic of coordinate geometry. Okay. Now, I'll just tell you some. I'll give you some ideas on plotting the graph. Oh, we don't know whether you will ask this one or not, but we'll have to be ready, because some you may have forgotten how this thing is done. So whenever you are plotting a graph, we know that, let's say you also find the point P, the coordinate of point P. So the coordinate of point P is what? We know always we start with x. So x value, you just go down till x. X value is how much? 4. And what about y? Y value, you go towards y, and y value is 3 here. So the value of p is nothing, the coordinate of b is nothing but 4 comma 3. Likewise, what about m? What's the coordinate of m? In this case, I need to start with x here. X is how much? If I go down towards x, x is minus 3. Minus 3. And y is, if I go towards y, y is 4. So the coordinate of m is nothing but minus 3 comma 4. So you check, you find for this one and you find for this one. I'll leave that for you. So the question can be asked this way: what is the abscissa in, or what is the abscissa of point S? Abscissa, okay. What is the abscissa? That means what is the x ordinate of this one? So if you look here, this point, it is 3 comma, this is 3 comma 4. So abscissa of the point S is nothing. We know abscissa means the other name of x, and ordinate means the other name of y. So the question can be twisted this way: what is the abscissa of the point S here? So abscissa means 3 here. What is the ordinate of the point S here? That means ordinate means the y value, which is 4 here. Okay, the question can be twisted that way. Now let's go to distance between 2 points. I don't know why they have included all these topics, but no worries. So distance between 2 points. Now if we have a Cartesian plane, then let's say I have a point here which is minus 3 comma 5, and I have another point here, uh, 7 comma 1. So simple term, I can represent the two terms as x1 and y1, and this can represent it as x2 and y2, x2 and y2. So remember, we don't name when you are naming, okay, x1 and y2, we don't name like that. So which means the first one is, if you are naming this one 1, then this should also be 1. That means x1 y1. And if you are naming this one 2, this should also be 2. So the distance formula is x2 minus x1 whole square and y2 minus y1 whole square. This is the formula here. Now x2, according to this one, our x2 is how much? X2 is minus 3 minus, what is x1 here? X1 here is this one, 7 whole square, plus, what is y2 here? Y2 here is, according to our value, y2 here is 5 minus, what is y1? Y1 according to this is minus 1. So remember, there is minus 1 here, whole square, and there is a root over. So minus 3 minus 7. If both are minus, then it will give you minus 10 whole square minus 3. So simple uh, plus or minus. If both are minus, then you add the term, and but the sign will carry minus. So if you have -1 and -2, it will give you -3. So since both the signs are same, we add the term, but the answer should carry minus, because the greater number here is how much? 2. Like that, okay? So -3 and -7 is -10. Plus, what about here? 5 minus into minus will give me plus 1 whole square. So there's a root over here. 10 square is how much? 100. Plus 5 plus 1 is 6. So 6 square, can I just directly write? This is 5 plus 1 is 6. So 6 square is nothing but 36. So root over this one. So which means our answer here is 136, root over 136. If this is not in your answer, you need to take some numbers out of root. I don't think we can take it out. Let's take 2 6 are 12, and 2 6 are 12, and 2 8s are 16. Yeah, we can, I guess. 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8, and 2 1s are 2, 2 7s are 14. So which means this can also be written as uh, I'll just write it here. This can also be written as root over 136 can be written as, what is it, 2 into 2 into 2 into 17. So which means this number is repeating 2 times. So which means square root means if a number is repeating 2 times, you can take one out of the root. So I have taken one out. So 17 into 2 is nothing but 34. So the answer here is the distance between, distance means from this point till this point, the distance between these 2 points is nothing but 2 root over 34. Okay, so if 2 points is given, and if you're asked to find the distance between the 2 points, then the formula is this. So if in your question, what is the distance between this point and this point? 2 points is given and you're asked to find distance, then you need to use this formula, okay? So I'm just, along with the formula, I'm just giving you a question there. So that is it, I guess. Do I have question based on this? Or shall we try one question? Uh, since there's large space here. Let's say 2 points are given. Find the distance between uh, this point and, let's say, this point, 4 comma 1. So in this case, same thing. I'll just name this one x1, x2. This is, oh, I mean, I'm doing the wrong thing here. X1, y1, and x2 and y2. So the formula was root over x2 minus x1 whole square plus, what is it? Y2 minus y1 whole square. So x2 is how much? X2 here is 4 here. 4 minus x1 here is 2 whole square plus, what is y2 here? Y2 here is 1 minus y. What is y1 here? Y1 here is 3. So this is x1, this is y1, this is x1, and this is x2, and this is y2. So what do we have here? Whole square. Now 4 minus 2 is how much? 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 whole square plus 1 minus 3 is 2 whole square. So 2 square is how much? 4 plus 2 square is 4. So root over 4 plus 4 is 8. So 8 is nothing but 2 root 2. Okay. So the answer here is 2 root 2. So if you're asked to find the distance between this point and this point, then the answer is 2 root 2. Okay. Are we clear with this distance formula? Now section formula. When we talk about section formula simply means if there's a line, and if there's a certain point, there's a point that divides this line. So that is called section formula, okay? But sometimes, who knows, let's say this is the line here, and this point is dividing this line into two equal parts, let's say 2 unit and 2 unit. Then in that case, we say this one is the midpoint. The midpoint. So this one is a midpoint. If this one is the midpoint, then the formula is this. The formula is this one. So let's try a question. We have a point here, 3, and so what I'll do is -3 comma 5. Let's assume this one is x1 comma y1, and this point 8 comma -1, which is x2 comma y2. But remember, until and unless in your question, if it's not mentioned midpoint, you will not use this formula. Okay, you will use this formula only if the question says the midpoint. So find the midpoint of this 2 point. That means find the midpoint of, in exam you won't be given this kind of graph. Okay, you will be given 2 points. So the question can be asked this way: if this 2 point, find the middle point of this two, or what point will divide this 2 point into two equal parts. That means what point will divide this point and this point into two equal parts. So we have to find this point. So the formula is, midpoint formula is nothing but x comma y is the midpoint here. So the formula for this one, that means we are just simply finding the value of x and the value of y. So the formula here is x1 plus y1. So x1 here is this one. I mean x1 plus x2. x1 here is minus 3, comma, what is x2? x2 here is plus 8 divided by 2, comma, this is x1, this is x2, okay? And this is y1, but there should be a comma here. And y1 is how much? 5 plus, what is y2? y2 is minus 1 divided by 2. So this part, it is nothing but x, and this part, it is nothing but y. Okay, it corresponds like that. X comma y is nothing but how much is it? 8 minus 3 plus 8 is nothing but 5. The different signs means I need to subtract, but remember the greater number here is 8 and it is carrying plus sign. That means 5 divided by 2, comma, what about this? 5 plus into minus is minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4 divided by 2. So 2 2s are 4. So this can be written as 5 comma 5 divided by 2. 2 is the answer. 5 divided by 2 comma 2 is the answer. Okay, so the midpoint here, this point is nothing but 5 divided by 2 comma 2, or it can also be written as 2.5 comma 2. Okay, because 5 divided by 2 is nothing but 2.5 only. So that is midpoint. Do we have section formula? Last more, one more. Maybe this one is the last topic where we will be bored. Is this topic is a bit boring to teach also. So let's say there is a point here x comma y, x1 comma y1, and here x1 comma or x2 comma y2. Okay, so let's say there is x comma y here. This point is dividing this line into m1 and m2 ratio. That means the length from this one till this one is nothing but m1, and the length of this one till this one is nothing but m2. We call it section formula. Okay, in your syllabus, if you see, you see section formula cutting internally. So I'll just discuss internally only. Okay, so if you are asked to find the this point, if you're asked to find this point, so this point formula is nothing but x comma y. How do we find? The formula for this one is m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m1 plus m2, comma, m1 y2 plus m2 y1 divided by m1 plus m2. So this is the formula here. M1 we know this one, M2 this one. Okay, so try to remember this formula. This is a section formula here. Now using this formula, let us try a question. I believe we have a question. Yes. Find the coordinates of point which divides. What is this? Okay, this is, you can refer this one previous class. If you're confused with some points, it's more clear, so you can refer this one. Okay, you can refer this PDF. I'll give you later in Telegram group. Now find the coordinate of the point that divides this joint. That means we have to find this point is given as minus 1 comma 7, and this point is given as 4 comma minus 3, and we are asked to find the coordinates of the point which divide this point. That means coordinate, we need to find x and y here, and which divides in the ratio of 2:3. That means 2:3 simply means this part it is 2 and this part it is 3. So what was the formula here? Formula was, I'll just extract that one, x1 x2 y1 y2. X1 is here is minus 1, x2 is here is 4, and y1 here is 7, and y2 here is minus 3. This is x1 y1, and this is x2 y2. That's what I've done. So x1 y1 and this one, and m1 is 2 and m2 is 3. The first one is m1 and this one is m2. We can name it likewise. Okay, so the formula for x comma y, in order to find the value of this one, the formula was m1 into x2 plus m2 into x1 divided by m1 plus m2, comma m1 plus y2 plus m2, I mean into, okay, into y1 divided by m1 plus m2. So you put the value, get the answer. M1 is how much? M1 is 2 here. And x2 is how much? X2 is 4. Plus, what is M2 here? M2 here is 3. And what is x2 here? X2 here is 4 divided by 2 plus 3, comma. M1 is how much? M1 is again 2. And y2 is how much? Y2 here is minus 3. Minus 3 plus, what is M2? I mean, what is it? Did I miss something? M1 into y2. Okay, y2 here is minus 3, and m1, okay, m2 is 3 into y1 is how much? Y1 is 7. Y1 is 7 divided by 2 plus 3. So 2 fours are 8 plus 3 fours are 12 divided by 5, comma, 3 2 threes are 6 plus 3 sevens are 21 divided by 5. So if we simplify this one, we will get what is happening here. 8 plus 2 is 20 divided by 5, comma, and 21 minus 6 is 15 divided by 5. So which means 5 fours are 20, 5 threes are 15. So 4 comma 3 is the answer. So the coordinate point is nothing but 4 comma 3. Okay, that's the answer. So I'll leave this one for you, and I'll move on to triangles now. This is the last topic. There are a few things I won't go in detail, uh, but I'll just give you some basic ideas. Okay, now there are some conditions. Doesn't mean that if you have 3 points, the 3 points can form a, I mean, if you have three number, that three number cannot form a triangle also. The condition to form a triangle is the sum of two sides of the triangle must be bigger than the third side. That means the sum of two sides of a triangle should be bigger than the other one. And the second one is the difference of the two sides of a triangle must be smaller than the third one. Okay, so I'll just give you an example here. Uh, the nearest example can be 237. Yeah, let's say we have a number 237. 237 cannot form a triangle. Why? If you look here, the statement says the sum of the two sides of a triangle must be bigger than the third side. That means the sum of 2 plus 3 is how much? 5. And this is not bigger than 7, right? 5 is not bigger than 7. So which means because of this case, we cannot form this one. That means 2, 3, 7 cannot form a triangle. So in exam, they may ask you this way: which of the following points cannot form a triangle? So option number A will be this one. Option number B will be, uh, what is it? Option number B will be 24, 27, and 25. And D will be 22, 5, and, or I mean 3, 5, and 4, and so on. Okay, so you will be given a set of questions. So what do you need to check? Whether the 3 points can form triangle or not. The simplest example is you try to use option elimination. You look at the options here. This two is all the 3 points are near to each other. That means somehow they will give you this, they will satisfy this condition. And if you look here also, the sum of this two will be greater than this one, and the sum of this two will also be greater than this one. The sum of this two will also be greater, the subtraction of this two will be less than this one. That means the simple thing is that if all the 3 points are near to each other, that means if all the three numbers are close to each other, then we can say that it can form a triangle. But let's say in this case, these two are close to each other, but this is a bit different. That means if there's a number which is very huge, let's say 7 comma 2 comma, or 7 comma uh, 20 comma 200. In this case, we cannot form a triangle. Why? Because this two sum is not giving you greater than 200. So the sum, because in order to form a triangle, the sum of two sides should be greater than the other side. So in this case, if you look at the sum of these two is not greater than the other one. So the simplest example is the simplest thing what you need to do is that you go through the points, and if there's a point where the 2 points are close to each other but the other one is a bit bigger than the other, so in that case you go for the answer this one, because this that point will not be able to form a triangle. But you remember the sum of the two sides of the triangle must be bigger than the third side to form a triangle. Okay, I hope you know what is triangle. Triangle is, we are talking about this one. Okay, so there are a few different types of triangles. So in terms of sides, okay, there are three types of triangle. One is scalene triangle, isosceles triangle, and equilateral triangle. What is scalene triangle? Scalene triangle means when all the sides are different. That means the length of this one, the length of this one, the length of this one. If all the sides are different, then we say it's a scalene triangle. Isosceles triangle means if two sides of a triangle are same. In that case, if the length of the two sides of it are equal, then we say that it's an isosceles triangle. And what is equilateral triangle? The word itself says equal. That means all the sides are equal. Okay, so in terms of side, remember, in terms of sides there is three types of triangle, which is scalene triangle, isosceles triangle, and equilateral triangle. Scalene means when no sides are same, isosceles means when two sides are same, and equilateral means when all the sides are same. Now, in terms of angles, there's also three types. And in exam, they ask this kind of question a lot, especially in SSC exams. They ask based on this one. Triangles based on angles. That means there are three types of triangle based on angles. There's acute angle triangle, there's right angle triangle, and there's obtuse angle triangle. What is acute angle? Acute angle triangle simply means if all the angles of this triangle is less than 90 degree. That means each angle is less than 90 degree. If all the angles of a triangle is less than 90 degree, we call it acute angle triangle. If one of the angle is 90 degree, if one of the angle is 90 degree, we call it right angle triangle, because remember, 90 degree we call it a right angle. Okay, so that's the name we get it from. And next is obtuse angle triangle. If one of the angle is more than 90 degree, if one of the angle is more than 90 degree, we call it obtuse angle triangle. And one more thing to remember is that uh, if you have a triangle, then in this triangle, let's say the angle here is A, the angle here is B, and the angle here is C. A plus B plus C will always give you 180 degree. That means the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is nothing but 180. Okay, always remember that. Who knows, they may ask you directly based on this one also. So it can be asked this way. I'll just take this space. This is 60, this is 60, and you're asked to find this one. So in this case, we know 60 plus 60 plus, let's say this one is x, plus x is nothing but 180, because the sum of all the angles of a triangle is 180. We know that. Now 60 plus 60 is 120, plus x is equal to 180. If you transfer this 120 to the other side, it will be how much? 180 minus 120, so which means how much is it? 60. So x here is nothing but 60. So it is an equilateral triangle. Okay, if all the angles of a triangle is 60, then remember that it is an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle means all the sides are same. Now, with that in mind, I'll just tell you some ideas regarding the types of angle in terms of uh, how do we determine what type of angle triangle is that. So it can be an acute angle triangle, it can be right angle triangle, it can be obtuse angle triangle. This one is the most common we use. A square plus p square is equal to c square. We call it Pythagoras theorem. So this one I don't need to discuss. That means c is given here, c b. So c is the longer side. Okay. If you're confused with what is hypotenuse, hypotenuse simply means the side that is facing the 90 degree. We call it hypotenuse. Okay. The side that is facing the 90 degree. That means the hypotenuse here is this one. So the side that is facing the 90 degree, we call it hypotenuse. So we say that it is a right angle triangle if a square plus b square is equal to c square. That means if hypotenuse square is equal to this one plus this one, then we call it as a right angle triangle. Let's, and if it is acute, a square plus b square is greater than c square, then we call it acute angle triangle. And if a square plus b square is less than c square, then we name it as obtuse angle triangle. Let's try this question. The sides of a triangles are in the ratio of 4 is to 6, 4 is to 6 is to 8. So in your values may not be given in terms of accurate values, so to say, it may not be given in terms of centimeter or meter. Okay, sometimes it may be given in terms of ratio, but treat it as it is. Now here I have, if I have a triangle here, here is 4, 6 and 8, then I need to check a square, b square and c square. A square is how much? A, let me just use a is 4 here, and b is 6 here, and c is 8 here. A square is how much? 4 square is 16. 4 square. And b square is how much? 6 square is 36. And this is whole square. That means c square is how much? I mean, 8 square is 64. So if you cross check, let's check. A square plus b square. 16 plus 36 is how much? 6 is 12, 2, 1 in hand, 3, 4, 5, 52. That means the sum of this two term is less than the square of this one, which simply means a square plus b square is less than c square. Because c square is how much? 64. And a square is how much? A square is how much? 16. And b square is how much? 36. So a square plus b square, we are getting only 52, and which is less than 64. So which means a square plus b square, what is happening? A square plus b square is less than c square. So what is it? What is the condition here? If a square is plus b square is less than c square, then we call it as obtuse angle. Obtuse angle triangle. Okay. So that's the answer. So you need to remember this condition. The middle one is easy. It's a Pythagoras theorem. But if it is less, it is obtuse. If it is greater, it is acute. Remember that. Okay. Next is similarity of a triangle. Okay. Similar. Before going to similarity of a triangle, uh, we say that two triangles are similar, or we say that two triangles are concurrent. There's two things, one is concurrent and the other one is similar. Concurrent is represented by this one, and similar is represented by this one. So we say that two triangles is concurrent. Concurrent simply means they are exactly same. Okay, so this triangle is concurrent to this one. Let's say this is 2, this is 4 and this is 5, and let's say this is 2, this is 5 and 4. So these two are concurrent. Why? Because they are exactly the same. When two triangles are exactly same, we call it concurrent. But this may be one triangle and this may be another triangle. These two may not be exactly same. One may be bigger and one may be smaller, but they may be similar. So there are some conditions when to say two angles are what is it? Two triangles are similar or two triangles are concurrent. This point, yeah, there are some certain criteria. So this is for concurrent. Okay, this is for concurrent. We say that two triangles are concurrent by side, 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 angle, side, angle, and right angle, hypotenuse side. So which simply means if all the sides are same, okay, if all the sides are same, if you have two triangles, and if all the sides are same, then we say that these two triangles are concurrent. Okay, and if one side is same and one angle and another side is same, that means this side and this side is same, and this angle is same, and this side and this side is same. We say these two triangles are similar by side, angle, side. Remember, it has to be continuous. Okay, that means if this is a side, this is the angle, and this should be side. I cannot use, if this is side, this is side, and this I cannot use this as an angle there. Okay, so it has to be continuous. So this criteria we call it side, angle, side. And another criteria is uh, angle, side, angle, and the other one is right angle, hypotenuse, side. But in question, they can form a question like this: which of the following is not the criteria for congruence of a triangle? And you will give you side, side, side. B will be angle, angle, angle. It can also give what is it? C, it can be side, angle, side, and D, it can be given as this way. So this is a concurrence criteria. This is also a one of the criteria, and this is also one. But remember, this is not a criteria, okay? And there's another one. This is also not a criteria. So this type of question is also expected because top layer question. These are the type of question. Which of the following cannot be a criteria? Ask in your option if there is this one and if there is this one. So most probably one of them will be given. So you can go for that option, okay? But this is for concurrence, okay? We can say that two triangles are similar by angle also. That means if two angles are same, if this angle and this angle is same, if this angle and this angle is same, that means we can say these two triangles are similar by angle concurrence. So for similar triangles, there is also this one. This is a special criteria here. You don't need to find three. In this case we have three, 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 but in this case we have only what? We have only two. Angle. That means we have, for similar triangles, we have angle criteria also. What about this one? Side, angle, side, same thing. Side. So those are the repeated term only. But there's a certain condition, certain formula which is important. So if you have two triangles, and if these two triangles are similar, okay, similar. If these two triangles are similar, then area of the first triangle, the area of the first triangle divided by area of the second triangle. That means the ratio of this one will be equal to this one. Squares of their sides ratio, okay? I don't know why it's not functioning properly. The squares of the ratio, and one more extra, the perimeter square. So what do I mean by this? Uh, I'll just explain with an example. Explain with the help of a question here. Yes, we have a question here. Even in central exam, this formula is handy. Okay, this formula. So now, what is given here? AR means area. Okay, area of triangle ABC is given as 16 centimeters square, and area of triangle PQR is given as how much? 25. And you also find what is PC. I mean, PC is given as 20, and you also find what is QR. So it's a simple one. By this criteria, the area of a area, if two triangles are similar, okay, so which means in this question it is given as triangle ABC is similar to PQR. So if two triangles are similar, then the area of a triangle, that means area of a triangle, the first one, which is this one, divided by area of the other one, that means area of triangle ABC divided by area of triangle PQR. Area of triangle ABC divided by area of triangle PQR is nothing but their side square. So what is it? It can be any of this, okay? It can be this one, 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 any of this. So but in this case, but remember, this will correspond this one, okay? So ABC is BC divided by QR whole square. QR whole square. So what is BC here? BC is 20 here. Aye. BC is 20 here, and QR whole square. So that means 16 divided by 26 is nothing but 20 square is how much? 400. And what is it? QR whole square. So what I'll do is I'll just simplify further. So this will be simplified it as, I'll bring this one up. That means 16 into QR square is equal to, what is it? 400 into 26. So what do we have here now? QR square is equal to 400 into 26 divided by 16. Shall I reduce it? Yes. Or 26. 26. Is it 26? Wait, 25, right? I'm so sorry, this one is 25, okay? I was wondering how comes we don't have a perfect square. So this is 25 and this one is 25, this is 25. So what I'll do is I'll transfer the square to the other side. If we transfer a square to the other side, it will become square root. Square root of 400 into 25 divided by 16. Do we have a space here? No. I'll just continue here, okay? Now 400 can be written as how much? 20 into 20 is 400. 25 can be written as 5 into 5. If you can't follow me with this, you please find the factor, okay? We have discussed about factor. And 16 can be written as 4 into 4. So root over there. So 20 repeating 2 times, 1 will be taken out. 5 repeating 2 times, 1 will be taken out. 4 repeating 2 times, 1 will be taken out. 4 5s are 20. 5 into 5 is 25. So QR value is nothing but 25. That's the answer, okay? So question based on this one, okay? They can ask this way. So certain area ratio will be given. They will say that the area of a triangle, this there's two triangles and they are similar, and area is given as this way, and you also find the one side will be given and you will be asked to find the other side. Or sometimes perimeter, this, remember, this one is nothing but perimeter, okay? P represents perimeter there. So perimeter whole square divided by perimeter whole square, the ratio will be same. Now let's go to next. uh, since since they just gave us uh, in our syllabus it is only triangles, so we'll have to discuss this one as well, okay? It's an important concept here. In exam, most of the time we see this one. So if you have a triangle, this is theta, okay? This should be theta. So if you have a triangle, and if you're asked to find the angle of this one, so angle of BOC. So angle of BOC is nothing but 90 plus theta by 2. Theta is what? Theta is this A value, okay? I'll just remove this one and this is theta. That means this angle is theta. Then BOC value is nothing but this one, okay? BOC means BOC value is nothing but 90 plus theta. Always remember this. This is a handy formula for all kinds of exam. But if the triangle is outward below this way, then the formula is angle BOC is nothing but 90 minus theta by 2. Theta here is this one, okay? This is theta. Theta divided by 2. So remember, if it is inside plus, if it is outside minus. So that's the only concept here. I have a question here. So if this is 72 and we are asked to find theta, the formula was angle BOC, if it is inside 90 plus theta by 2, 72 divided by 2 plus, because it is inside. What is it? It is, if it is inside, the formula is plus. So how much is it? 90 plus 2 3s are 6, 2 6 are 12. So which means 3 6. So 6 1 2. So which means our theta here is 1 2 6. If my calculation is not wrong, then theta here is 126. Okay. Next, if it is outside, then what was the formula? Uh, Angle BOC is equal to 90 minus theta by 2. So 90 here, 90 minus theta here is how much? 70 divided by 2. 70 divided by 2, how much? 90 minus 35. 90 minus 35, because if I subtract this 2, 2 3s are 6, 2 5s are 10. So 90 minus 35, 10 minus 5 is 5, and 8 minus 3 is 5. So we have our answer here is 55 degree. So this value is nothing but 55 degree. And here earlier was this value is nothing but 126 degree. This one, okay? So it's an important concept for any kinds of exam. It is important, okay? Next, since I've taught you this one, who knows, you may question me for this one later. So I'm just coming up with this one. This two is similar. Actually, if you look at this one and this one is similar. But remember, this is about uh, if a triangle is inside the circle. If a triangle is inside the circle, then if this is theta, then angle BOC is nothing but 2 times of theta. Remember, but this, the special case is if it is circumcenter. Circumcenter means if the triangle is inside the circle, okay? So then in this case, let's find this value. If this is 62, then what is this value? That means 62 into 2, how much? 2 2s are 4, 2 6 are 12, 124 degree. This value is nothing but 124 degree. So don't get confused. If the question is blindly only triangles, then you need to use this formula. But if it is inside a circle, then the formula is this one, okay? Don't get confused there. Oh, that's the end. Did I missed anything out? Yeah, any doubts here regarding the topics that we have discussed? If you have doubts, you can clarify. Did I missed anything? distance. Oh, I'll just tell you one thing here. There's one more formula here. Distance from the origin. I think I didn't give you. So distance from the, okay, you can write this one down. From the origin is nothing but root over x square plus y square. Let's say the question can be asked this way. Mm, how far is the point 2 comma 3 away from the origin? So the question can be asked, how far is this point away from the origin? If that kind of question is asked, we know if 2 points is given, we know that. But in this case, origin means this one, okay? And where is it? 2 comma 3. This is 2 comma 3. 2 comma 3 will be around here, okay? So how far is this point away from the center? So which means we have to find how far means we are asked to find distance here. So the formula is, you don't need to put 0 like that. So you just 2 whole square plus 3 whole square root over 2 whole square is 4, 3 whole square is 9. So what is it? 4 plus 9 is 13, root over 13. So which means the distance 2 2 comma 3 is root 3 root over 13 units away from the origin. So that's how we find for if asked how far is the point away from the origin, okay? Yeah, I think that's it. Triangles, did I discuss everything? uh, I'll just discuss one more thing and we'll wrap up here for the night. Triangles, because looks like all the syllabus that is given in our uh, in forest guard exam, most of them are based on class 10 syllabus, so I cannot miss this one out. If you can remember this, uh, this we call it basic proportionality theorem, PPT. So if this is A, this is B, this is C, this is E, and this is F. So the simple theorem is this. Basic proportionality theorem says if this two, if this E, F, and PC are parallel, and if this is a midpoint, then their side ratio is same. Side ratio means AE divided by EP is equal to AF divided by FC. That means this half divided by this half is equal to this half divided by this half. Or it can be this way. AE divided by AP is equal to AF divided by AC. So there's two conditions for this one PPT. That means this half divided by full and this half divided by full. What is AE? AE is still this one only. From this point till this point is AE divided by this one and so on. Okay. So I'll just grade the question and we'll end here. Okay. So the question can be asked this way. Uh, A, B, C, and this one is E and F. So let's say this is the question is if EF is parallel to DC, I mean PC, if E, wow, if EF is parallel to PC, then and given that AE is equal to 3 and BE is equal to 5, mm, and AF is equal to 15, then find the value of EC. Let's say, so in this question, AE is given as 3 and PE is given as 5 and AF is given as 15. We are asked to find this one. So how do we find? We know if these two lines are parallel, then AE divided by EP is equal to uh, oh AC. Oh yes. This is AC. AE divided by EP is equal to AF. Oh, wait, okay. This shouldn't be AC, it should be FC here, okay. So AE and EP and AF divided by FC. We are asked to find FC. So AE is how much? AE is 3. EP is how much? AE is this one, right? And EP is how much? EP is 5. AF is how much? 15. And FC is how much? We don't know. So what I'll do is I'll just cross multiply here. That means FC into 3 is equal to 15 into 5. So FC is equal to 15 into 5 divided by 3. 3 5s are 15. So which means 5 5s are 25 is the answer there. FC is nothing but 25. Okay. So that is how we find. If you know, it's very easy. Okay. But in exam, if you see this, how comes they can ask this kind of question? You can question like that to the examiner. But if you know the concept of this one, it's very easy to solve that. So this kind of question can also be asked. So it is basic proportion. Sometimes this half and this full will be given. So you use this formula in that case. This half and this full will be given. So which means most of the time they will ask you this half. They will give you uh, certain half, this half, and this full, and this half, and you'll be asked to find the full length of the one. So in that case, you just use the formula of this one. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Maybe next session I'll cover the remaining topics that is left. What are the topics that is left? Yeah, mean, median, mode, basic mensuration, and probability.